Cause I don't care what you think.
A really terrific young man. His name is Stefan Urkel.
Listen, I need some advice. Yeah, I just can't decide between Stefan and Steve.
Right?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Going through the same thing. If y'all in the 90s, y'all know what that is. If y'all actually watch Family Matters, y'all know where that song comes from. But we back at it again. You know, it's Steve and Laura time all the time. And again, we're looking at the dynamic of Carl, Laura, Steve. And again, we in the thick of this thing right here. Because here's Laura is weighing her heart, not options. Okay, we need to stop looking at people like they're options. But she's weighing her heart to figure out what does she really feel? Because an easy peasy thing. It's Stefan. But you got to check what's on Laura's heart. And that's what she's doing right now.
No, actually, it's a much harder decision than I thought it would be.
Exactly.
You're kidding, right?
Oh, come on, Carl.
Daddy, Stefan is handsome and sophisticated.
Yes, he's a top model and makes a lot of money.
Stefan would make a great husband. Any girl would be lucky to have him.
What are you seeing right here? What I have been saying this whole entire time about Laura. What are her parents saying to her right now? They're gassing up Stefan. OG Harriet, she's standing Harriet. What does she say? Any woman would be lucky to have him, so why wouldn't you want him? You know what I'm saying? But again, I just wanted to show people, this is why I wanted to look at this dynamic of the family, of the father, and how it affects how Laura interacts with Steve, sees Steve, and her devotion to him. See, when you look on Laura's face, is maturity.
There's Steve.
There's Steve.
Oh, now there are many wonderful things about Steve.
Many.
Name one.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Well, now, see, I am hesitating because even though Steve has many wonderful qualities, he has a few less wonderful qualities, and for some reason, only the less wonderful qualities are coming to mind at the moment.
One is they're not prepared. Stan and Harriet and Carl are not prepared for this because they never fostered it. Right? And they just probably never thought it would actually happen because Laura's had to hide how she feels for this man. Remember this here.
Steve looks really nice tonight. I'm so confused. I love Stefan, but lately I'm attracted to Steve.
Bump Stefan. Bump Stefan. It's all about Steve.
I knew it. You are attracted to me. Boy, you're so crazy.
Right? So we're at the same dinner table. We're in the same kitchen. Remember that they had nothing to say there. And so now you get in this situation where one, they're not prepared for what Laura is embarking on. And
Steve. Oh,
I'm so happy.
I love you too.
Woo! And Laura's had to hide how she's felt about Steve, I think, for a long time, number one. And number two, that I think they do just think Stefan is a better catch, right? So they don't have nothing good to say about Steve. I told you, when it comes to the parents, it's not Steve and Laura time. And you have to ask the question for all y'all that want to continue to hate on Laura with your low hate and quality self person. I would question, have you ever considered this? Have you ever considered the impact her family has had on her when it comes to Steve? Look at this right now. There's no support. We're looking at it still right now. There's no support for her right now.
Laura, what do you love about Steve?
There you go.
Well, he's sweet and he's gentle. And he makes me laugh.
Right.
And he's really smart.
Very.
And one day I think one of his crazy inventions might change the world.
If he doesn't blow it up first.
They were talking about Stefan. Laura didn't say a word. Not a word when they were Stefan. Nor did they ask her, what do you love about Stefan? Because it don't matter because they like him, right? Laura says he's really smart. Remember I showed this here.
I got straight A's.
Hey.
I got straight A+.
Right? Remember I showed you those things matter. I'm about to say something crazy. But look at mom. Look at mom. Mom is listening to daughter right now. This is about father-daughter. This is about father-daughter, right? And how the father impacts the daughter, right? But look at mom right now. Laura goes and says these things about Steve, and mom has a smile on her face. Look at Pops though, and react to it from this standpoint. Carl still don't got a smile on his face, but mama does. And you know, when the mama gives you that warm smile, you know what I'm saying? The daughter's heart actually connected with mom's heart. You know, mama heard what Laura said about Steve, and she understands. Remember what she just said, right?
There are many wonderful things about Steve.
Many.
Name one.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
For some reason, only the less wonderful qualities are coming to mind at the moment.
So you saw that, right? When she said that. So this is just absolutely amazing, because again, we're looking at the impact of the father, but we're not getting nothing from the father, right? But the mom has a smile on the face because she can identify with what her daughter is going through. It's such a beautiful thing.
If he doesn't blow it up first.
Mom, what made you say yes to Dad?
Well, that's easy. I loved him with all my heart, and I felt I couldn't live without him.
You got what I need, right? Laura just got what she needed right there to go forward with Steve, not from her father, from her mother. That's why she got that big, beautiful smile on her face right now. Oh, Steve, what happened? What happened? He's leaving. What happened? What done happened to you, baby?
Goodbye, Laura. I love you.
Ooh, so happy.
I love you too. How can you just leave? You told me you love me. I do love you.
Isn't this is a very interesting situation. What you actually have here, it was so crazy, is that in this moment, Steve is kind of doubting Laura's love, but Laura's also doubting Steve's love, you know, and why is that? Steve is doubting Laura's love because of the interaction that he had with Carl, and just feel like he just really never had a shot. And Laura's doubting Steve's love because Steve, you know, Laura opened up her heart and told him that she loved him and that he loved her. So Laura's like, how you gonna leave?
I adore you.
Right.
I worship the rain, waters the grass that grows on the ground you walk on.
Something I want people to think about. Has anybody ever recognized that whenever Laura shows her feelings towards Steve, she gets treated like Steve?
Boy, I feel so much better now. For a second there, I thought Laura had, lost her mind.
Very funny.
What's the matter? Lose your sense of humor, Mrs. Urkel? Sounds like Steve Urkel.
It is.
Ooh. That's not a mercy date. That's a Lord have mercy date.
Wow. Now in this moment, the only one that thinks highly of Steve is Mother Winslow. People ever register this in their brain when it comes to Laura, you know, seeing Steve on a romantic level?
I miss Steve Urkel.
Oh.
You need professional help.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Laura Winslow. Yeah, I'm having a birthday party for a friend this Saturday at my house. Well, the party's for Steve Urkel.
She wants to throw a birthday party for Urkel.
Look at the laughing in the face and the ridicule that Laura gets when it pertains to Steve. But you know what I love? She doesn't back down. That's what we got to recognize. People don't ever say this about Laura when it comes to Steve. She don't back down because of peer pressure from other people.
Since Steve started improving himself, I find myself, well, you know,
What?
attracted to him. This explains it. Can cause brain damage.
Well, you got a lot of nerve talking about somebody else's boyfriend. You going out with Steve Urkel.
You've told me 100 times that I'm crazy for going out with Steve.
That's right. But you wouldn't go on medication. So here we are.
Has anybody ever noticed that? That her sanctity, her, you know what I'm saying, gets questioned? That is something that Laura's had to deal with. Anytime she shows affection, besides her mother, but anytime Laura showed any type of affection towards Steve or admiration towards Steve, she starts getting treated like Steve. But I just love the fact that Laura never fell into that trap. If anything, they grew closer together. That's what we got to pay attention to. That's what's important.
All I've ever wanted to do was make you happy.
That's true.
Well, the only way I believe I can do that is if I step aside.
He's saying right there when you say the only way I think I can do is if I step aside. There's probably no way this is going to work. And again, I'm going to ask, why do you think Steve is thinking this? Steve always thought that him and Laura are going to work. But when you have her father, who, in your most vulnerable moment, laughed.
Laura, my daughter Laura, has agreed to marry you.
I just wanted your blessing before I asked her.
Oh, yeah. Forgive me.
Let me go now.
Thank you. Boy, I feel so much better now. For a second there, I thought Laura had, lost her mind.
In your face about the only woman that you've ever loved, you're going to feel some type of way about that, right? And it brings reality.
I do have one favor to ask of you. One small favor. Remember me.
Ooh.
Steve, wait. You can't just leave.
Why not?
Because I can't imagine my life without you.
Woo! Straight from the mama's mouth.
Mom, what made you say yes to Dad?
I loved him with all my heart, and I felt I couldn't live without him.
Straight from the mama's mouth, right? So, oh my gosh, I hope people will see. This is why I wanted to look at this, because what Laura is talking to Steve about right now is not what she got from her dad. It's what she got from her mother. She wasn't talking to Daddy anymore. She said, Mom, what made you say yes to Daddy? Carl's a great father, but if you leave it up to him, and Laura just based her relationship with Steve with her dad, Steve and Laura would never happen. So thankfully her mom was in there, gave her the warm smile, and gave her the words she needed. And now she's giving them to Steve.
What are you trying to say?
Well, I'm saying that I love you and I want to marry you.
Right there.
You do?
Yes. We got to stop it. Yes. Despite the fact that we're different, despite my dad ain't down with it, despite I get ridiculed, what people think about me and Stefan, despite what my family thinks about you, despite what my family thinks about us, despite what we've been through, you know what I'm saying? Despite what we're going to have to go through, I still say yes to you. Ugh. Get your hug in, get your snuggle in, guys.
Steve said he was going to be here at 9.
I want to see my baby.
Laura's only 10 after.
Oh my God, I thought it was only 5 after.
I want to see my baby. Where's my baby? There he is. There he is. Steve.
I thought you'd be happy to see me.
Extremely happy, huh? Extremely happy because her honey is home, baby. Yeah.
Standard issue.
I'm not talking about the outfit.
I'm talking about it all, baby, huh?
Oh, so what's it like in Houston?
Oh, a little hot, humid, way too many June bugs.
No, I meant the Space Center.
Oh, a little hot, humid, way too many June bugs.
Daddy, I haven't seen Steve in 6 months.
And you have to ask the question, why is Carl in the middle of this? Get out the way, bruh. Get out the way. She ain't seen her man. You just saw how excited she was. And he all blocking. He blocking, man.
I know.
He blocking.
Tell me about the astronauts you're going up with.
Well, the first guys I trained with, they left after a month. The second 2 guys, they put in for early retirement. Kind of odd for fellas in their 20s. So I'm going up with the last guys left. Colonel Mitch Parker and Major Alan Healy.
Wow. So tell me about your mission.
This is what is so baffling to me. So baffling to me because Laura's the only one that gets hate. Okay, this is so slim shady what Carl's doing right now. Steve does not know that Carl was really talking Laura out of being with him. Right? Remember, Carl laughed in Steve's face at the notion of them being together multiple times.
And Major Alan Healy.
Wow. So tell me about your mission.
Goes up, he comes down.
Right. Right. Come on, Steve.
Why'd you drag me away? I was just about to tell Carl.
Oh, there it is, baby.
Houston, we have a mission.
Right.
I am so proud of you.
They're so adorable. They're just Steve and Laura, Kelly and Jaleel, however you want to remix it. They're just so adorable together. But really looking at Steve and Laura, it's so funny how they're so different, but then they're not so different, but they're different enough that people are like, oh, they don't seem like the same. But the inside is very similar. And that's why you see this connection, this vibe. You know what I'm saying?
I am so proud of you.
Really?
Of course.
Yeah.
First student in space. You're only 21 years old and you're making history.
And to think a year ago I couldn't get a job at Taco Bell.
Right.
You heard the man. No more pictures. Okay, one more.
Steve a little local celebrity now. Steve a little local celebrity. And just for the reminder of people to say, Laura didn't get with Steve till he had status. Laura's already fully committed to Steve at this point. She is the reason. Okay, when you get that good woman, it helps you blow up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying this, Steve, but I've actually been bragging about you. I have told everybody at work about my future son-in-law.
Wow.
Welcome home, son.
Thanks, Dad.
This is a moment. Oh, this is a moment. As long as he recognizes the value in Steve and the value that Laura brings to him and the value that Steve brings to her. And and the bigger thing too is as long as Steve and Laura have the support, as long as they got that family support, man, they'll be okay. So this is big time for Carl to come all the way around.
Oh, now there are many wonderful things about Steve.
Many.
Name one.
Oh, remember from there ain't nothing good about Steve to here. Full circle. Like to me.
Oh, can you piece of it up?
There she is. There she is, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, gosh. You get more beautiful every time I see you.
Shout out to Kelly and Jaleel. Sometimes I love how they can look so deeply into each other's eyes. And you feel like they're touching each other's soul by just looking at each other.
Do I get a welcome home kiss?
On one condition.
Well, what's that?
That you'll never go into outer space again.
You scared her.
Only when we kiss, Larly.
Exactly.
Only when we kiss.
Only one way. A smudge of this smudge. Look at this now, though. We gotta understand why this is so important. Look at this now. Look at the smile on her father's face. Look at the smile on her mother's face. Look at her brother, Eddie Winslow. Remember, these are the same people.
Tail lights. The Urkels are gone.
Look at this. Look at this celebration. They were, y'all right? You saw that. These were the same people that were doing that. Look at how this is why I keep saying the love story of Steve and Laura is one of the most beautiful love stories ever. Because look at how this thing now has come full circle. And this is in the same living room and with a lot of the same people. It's so amazing. Yeah, Shaq would say, are you not entertained? Oh, you're not entertained. I hope you, if you're not, haven't been entertained, I really hope you have been inspired. You know, I never looked at Laura, Steve, Carl from the standpoint of father and the interaction. And some of the stuff that you saw there that I showed throughout the videos is, you know, Laura had growing up to do, and she was a product of her environment, like all of us are, right? If we're just keeping it real, we're a product of our environment. Laura was a product of her environment, and that's why the Steve and Laura storyline is so beautiful. The love story is because she grew out of that. She grew out of her family. She blossomed out of it. You know what I'm saying? To where she's sitting at the dinner table and she has to tell them why she loves, you know, him and not who they want for her. You know what I'm saying? And like I said in many videos, I think people just don't consider that with Laura. They don't, you know, it's like, and like I said, it's like for some reason Laura can't be human. For some reason Laura can't have a bad day. And The reason why I like to point this stuff out is because usually people that are very judgmental like that, you don't really like yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have mercy and grace and patience for other people, odds are you don't have it for yourself. And so I understand, that the culture that we're in today, but I just want people to to look at it from the standpoint of what Laura was dealing with, the ridicule she dealt with. Like I pointed out, that when anytime Laura showed any type of affection or anything towards Steve, she getting called out. She crazy. Something wrong with her. What did I say? Whenever Laura starts to show that she likes Steve, people start treating her like Steve. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's anything that people ever saw, but Laura had a deeper, because God gave it to her. You know what I'm saying? Laura had a deeper connection with Steve than the rest of her family did, because she is part of her purpose. He's part of her purpose. They're called to one another, And again, we're just talking about how the father affects the daughter. Guys, it does. And again, with all due respect, and I really say that with all due respect, I know a lot of people, you don't see it that way because you didn't have a father in the home, or your father wasn't around, or he wasn't a great role model to you. But it affects a lot. The dad in the home, father in the home affects a lot about a young girl. We saw even the journey with just Carl and Laura, with some of the ways that Laura wanted to dress that Carl went good with, because he said, you're better than this. I want you to be respected for the beautiful woman that you are. You know what I'm saying? All these different things that Laura had to learn along the way become the amazing woman, that she is today. The ups and the downs and I showed y'all saw some of the patterns of behavior I wanted to show you, where Carl, Steve, get out my life, and with his Lord, Steve, get out my life. A lot of these things that we have are learned behaviors, and then we look at it and we say, why is it I do what I do? I don't even mean to do it like that. But again, the thing that separated Laura, like I said, the connection that she had, but the thing that really separated Laura is Laura would apologize. She would take accountability. She would take responsibility. When she got it wrong, she wanted to get it right. And that is something that is most people do not do today. You do not do that today. You go like, well, look, they knew you make excuses. Laura never made an excuse. Even Carl made excuses at times. Laura never did. She owned up to the ways that she would act at times, and some of the, her pop-offs sometimes at Steve. But I just wanted to show that they're all, you saw that at the end. It was such a beautiful moment with Carl and Steve, where Carl finally accepted Steve as his son-in-law, finally accepted Steve, as somebody valuable to the family. And I said this many times before, it's because Laura was unwilling to give up on Steve. She was unwilling to get rid of Steve. She was unwilling to do that. So her family was going to have to accept him. And then they really got to accept him. You know what I'm saying? When the romance started to kick in, right? It was all she wrote right there. And so, like I said, man, Carl, thank you, mama, for, hearing daughter out, because if you'd have left it up to Carl, Steve and Laura would have never been together. And that's why I love Laura Winslow so much, is that she was always a person that thought for herself. If she would have went, which a lot of us do, if she would have went the way of family, Steve and Laura would have never happened, because she would have succumbed to what her family wanted for her instead of what her heart wanted. You know what I'm saying? And we know that in situations, these things can be hard. Standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in. A lot of people, this is what, it baffles my mind how you don't love Laura, because Laura had such high self-esteem. She had such value. And yes, some of that value came from Papa. That's what I'm saying. The father is so important to the daughter, but you saw that even when Laura was getting off a little bit, maybe dressing a little bit seductive or whatever, Pops is like, no. All these things, these kind of things matter. And I want to tell you, it's okay. I was told this today. I'm going to give it to you for whoever's listening. It's okay to value yourself. It's okay to know your value. It's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to think for yourself. Lord, getting the smooches from the earth man right now, because she is thinking for herself. She's not going the way of friends. She's not. What did Maxine tell her multiple times? Girl, you crazy. You crazy. You got Stefan. Why are you tripping off Steve? He ain't even all that. You know what I'm saying? Lord's like, I know. But there's things about Steve that I like. You know what I'm saying? Laura stood up for herself. She stood up for love, and she stood up for her and Steve in the face of her parents.
Come on. That's good. Come on.
If God be for, not if your family be for you. Okay, I know this is heavy, but there are many times you will have to walk out a faith step in the face of the people you love disagreeing with what God has called you to do. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I want you to get, oh God, you want everybody to agree with you, and they won't, because God didn't speak to them.
And this is what was so, you saw that was Michael talk right there. So inspiring, right? And this is what is so inspiring about Laura. That's exactly what Laura did. And in the face of her family, I'm doing this. I know y'all gassed up, Stefan, and this is what you want, but this is what my heart is leading me to do. This is what God has placed on the inside of me that I am going to go do. And that's why I want to encourage, people about, like, value yourself. In this day and time, man, if you give people the opportunity, they will devalue you. Just give them the time, the people and all that. And all I'm saying to you is you have the right to value yourself. You have the right to love yourself. You have the right to believe in yourself. You have that right. Again, I ain't talking about just doing whatever. I'm talking about the things of God that God's placed on your heart, or that He's placed in your life, or that He's placed, for you to do, that you're scared to do because your family ain't down with it. You're scared to do, you're scared to obey God because you're worried about what everybody else says. And it is a hard thing to do. Again, why I don't understand why people judge Laura so harshly. Like, you don't go through those same things, right? We don't all have Harriet for a mother. We got to deal with the reality of what we were birthed into, what we were born into, and we have to kind of deal with that and face that. And that's what I want to encourage you in. I don't care what's been said to you. I don't care what's happened to you. I don't care, what people have done to you. You are not a mistake. You are not a mistake. You are here with purpose. You are here with divine purpose. And your life absolutely matters. I understand that there's rejection over here, and there's pain over here, and there's devaluing over here. But I'm here to let you know you matter. Your life matters. Your gifts and ability, your personality, your smile, your heart, everything about you matters. Everything about you is needed on this earth. Not only with purpose, but He made you with a purpose in mind. And let me let you know, there are people that are actually called to your purpose. So maybe it may not be this person. Maybe it isn't your mom. Maybe it isn't your dad. Maybe it isn't a grandma. Maybe it isn't a parental. But God has people that are called to you. So look to Him for that. Believe in Him for that. Keep your eyes open for Him for that, because there's people that are called to you. It's not an easy thing. It messes with your mind. It messes with how you see yourself, how you value yourself. And that's the positive I would say about Carl that is so dope. And I'll read a couple scriptures and end it there. But let me say this. I love this when it comes to Steve and Carl, because Steve and Carl give Laura kind of the same thing. They think very highly of her. They treat her very, very good. You know what I'm saying? And there's also that comfort, you'll see it with Laura later, but you saw Laura like not in her mama's arm. She was in her daddy's arm, needing comfort from her dad. And Steve kind of gives Laura, not in the same way, of course, but Steve kind of gives Laura that same comfort, because he's smart, because he's intelligent, because Laura believes in his mind that whatever impossible situations, Steve somehow can figure it out. We'll consider that. And when you go and want to judge Laura so harshly, but also maybe even some areas in your life, and maybe giving yourself grace and be like, hey, I didn't realize I was a product of my environment there. I didn't realize that I picked up that habit. That's why the Bible says, why is it that what I want to do, I don't do, and what I don't want to do, I do? Because a lot of times we're raised in these situations, we're raised in these environments, and then we walk out into the world, with those things, of the experience of those environments. And then we get into situations and we're like, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why do I act like that? Why am I like that? Why do I feel this way? Right? And because all of these things are influenced. Again, encourage you, if you do not have a supporting parent, a mother, a father, there is a heavenly Father who loves you, who made you, has great things in store for you. You are not rejected. You are loved. You are not alone. You may not understand why you do what you do. You may not understand certain things about you. There may be people around you that don't understand things about you, but God understands. Our Father understands. He knows us better than anybody. And that should really be a comfort. I want to just encourage people with. I think it's so powerful. Again, giving yourself grace. Again, I'm gonna keep saying, God, He rarely answers the whys. God, why was I born into this family? Why was I born like this? Why was I born where my mama don't care? Why was I born where my daddy don't care? Why was I just why? You know what I'm saying? You can be filled with such anger in those moments. But I just want to encourage you here. In 13, it says, as a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear Him. Here's another one. Just want to encourage you. Last one, 2 Corinthians 6:18. It says, and I will be a father to you, and you shall be my sons and daughters to me, says the Lord Almighty. Says the Lord Almighty. Yeah, man. Love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.